Hey guys, welcome back to Reaper What Ifs. Sorry I've been gone for so long. On spring break I had some important things to do. They were very, very important, and afterwards I have done something bad. I got my phone taken, blah blah blah. So yeah. Um, so we'll get right into it after I play my intro. Alright, hey guys. So where we left off was when Naruto went to Naruto just beat Minma, Mito, Sasuke, Sakura, and Hinata. And, they go, he leaves, tells Minato that his father is stronger. Naruto goes back to the condo he rented because he's done a few missions, a few A rank, B rank, and D ranks. Minato did not approve of these, but the council did. They saw how Naruto was going to be a great weapon. They thought they could use him as a weapon for the leaf. Since they can't use the other two, they can't use Mito, they're going to use Naruto. And so does Danzo. Danzo wants Naruto to become a root Anbu. And that's going to take its own turn in a few minutes. So Naruto goes back to his condo that he rented. He goes sits down. There was a book that his father boom tubed to him. Whatever he writes in it, it sends back to them, so it relays a message. It's for spies. And they're on another universe about to conquer that universe. It sees if they have anything valuable. Because Darkseid really don't need information on a universe to conquer it. He just needs to know if there's anything valuable. And he wants to know if there's anything valuable in that universe before he destroys it or he conquers it. And Naruto says chakra probably is weak, but if I could harness it, it could become even stronger. Darkseid says you do that, learn every whatever they call it jutsu. From there on, learn every jutsu that you can. Naruto says yes, father, and he leaves. Someone comes and knocks on his door, and this is Danzo. Danzo is saying, are you Naruto Uzumaki? And Naruto says, yes, I am, but I'm not Uzumaki. I don't know Darkseid's last name. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I have to find out Darkseid's last name. He said it's not Naruto Uzumaki, it's Naruto Yuxis. I think that's Darkseid's last name. I don't know. He says it's Darkseid. I mean, not Darkseid. He said it's Naruto Yuxis. He says, what an interesting name. He says, I know I got it from my father. He was like, that's Minato Namikaze's last name. He was like, no, never mind. Why are you here? And he says, I want you to join the Root Anbu. And Darkseid hears this and he says, sorry, guys. He says, ask him to see the Root Anbu train. He says, you are lacking in fighting capability, even though you got your mother's stamina, reflexes, and so on. You just don't have the experience. You probably have taken a lot of missions, but in those missions you have gotten hurt severely or badly. If it wasn't for your healing that from your heaven divinity, you would have died. And Naruto says, can I see the Root Anbu train? Danzo says, sure, fine. He takes Naruto and he sees them training brutally. Most of them are lifting heavy boulders. Some of them are training in jutsu until they exhaust all of their chakra. Then they take chakra pills and do it over again. Then most of them have to stand on one leg while holding buckets of water. And some of them are standing on top of spikes. or they're getting cut to see if they feel no pain. So yeah, that's what they're all doing. And so Naruto and Darkseid says yes. He says say yes, you need this type of training. Naruto says fine. He says yes, I would like to join the root Ambu. And Darkseid says you're one step closer to conquering this universe. He said, but you still have to pick a general. Naruto says, I probably have someone in mind. It's not, so I'm just going to tell you now, it's not Sasuke, it's not Sakura. Actually, it's not Sasuke. Sakura is not going to be a general, but she's going to have something to do in the story. Naruto's not going to date her. I'm going to let you know that now. He's not going to date her. He's going to date Akagame from Akagame Kill, or something like that. He's going to date her. They're going to meet in part 3. So, he said I have someone in mind. It's not going to be Sasuke. It's not going to be, Menma, Mito, or it's not going to be anyone that you guys like. Well, most people might like him. I should just tell you guys. It's going to be Danzo. I'm just going to tell you now. It's going to be Danzo. Well, not now, but like a few more minutes, or probably that when I hit that hour mark. Yeah, it's going to be Danzo. So, that's when Naruto is saying, when do I start? He says, now. And all the lights go off. And Naruto, he can feel that there... Oh, sorry guys. This keeps on happening for some reason. He can feel that there's a presence. There are about 20 people around him. Naruto summons his swords. And Darkseid says, this is a great test. I kind of like this Danzo person. He's brutal, but he knows to show no mercy. Naruto laughs, and then that's when they all start running up on Naruto. And they didn't know Naruto's eyes can see everything. He can see through deception, so like illusions or genjutsu. He can see through lies. He can see in the dark. He can see through mostly anything. He can see straight through a wall or through a human being's body. That is if he wants to. So Naruto wants to see through the dark so he can. And he dodges because, I was about to say Ambu swung his sword at him. Naruto asks Danzo out loud in the dark, am I allowed to kill them? Danzo says yes. Naruto smiles, and he, using his very, very enormous speed, he starts killing them. Oh, and I forgot to mention this in part 1. I don't know why I forgot to mention this. It was the most important thing. Naruto. Darkseid made an artificial speed force. He kind of took powers from different superheroes from the DC universe. You'll get to know most of them. He made an artificial speed force. He made 4 of them, and Naruto has all 4. But Naruto doesn't know how to use them as proficiently. He gave him Superman's powers, blah blah blah, on and on. I'll just tell you guys after this. So, Naruto kills one of the root Ambu. Naruto's feet is so silent they can't hear him. One of them used Earth style to sense where Naruto is. Naruto jumps into the air, not touching any Earth. He's just floating because he can't fly from Darkseid. And he kills them, most of them silently. And he just throws his knives like his mother did inside of the movie. Hold on. Oh, wait. Gotta go. Okay, guys, something basically like this. This is basically what Naruto's doing to the whole army, to the Ambu. Throwing his swords. Yeah, throwing his swords. He can't make giant ones yet because he's not as proficient with them. But Hella has been working with him on that, and Naruto is starting to get better. So Danzo is just watching this, and Naruto manages to take them all out, but Naruto has a few cuts and a little bit of bruises. So he won't be able to take on Minato one-on-one, even if they do fight. He has the abilities, he has the strength, the stamina, and the speed. He just does not have the skills. So that's why Darkseid agreed to make this happen. So, Darkseid, waits for, not Darkseid, oh Lord, Danzo waits for Naruto to get bandaged up, and he says that Naruto, exactly what I said, he has the skills, the strength, the stamina, the speed, all of that, but he just does not have the skills. So, Naruto, Naruto puts a little bit of Divinity or Chaos Divinity in his body to heal himself quicker. It also can heal. He can do a lot of other things, but he hasn't really perfected it. So yeah, it's on its first stage. It's not on its second or third stage. The second stage is powerful in its own right. The third stage is just too powerful. But I like it like that. So Naruto goes to get started. Well, not get started. Naruto goes and he goes outside of the nurses or whatever they call it. He goes out of the office and he tells Danzo that he wants to start training now. So it's midday. So what Danzo does is he says Naruto has the strength, the stamina, the speed. He doesn't need to work on any of those things, but he needs to work on his chakra control. And he needs to work on his fighting skills. Naruto says yes, and he says he needs to work on not showing any emotion. Darkseid agrees. Naruto can hear this because they have a link, and Hella tells Darkseid to shut up. Darkseid says he agrees with Danzo. Naruto shows too much empathy and everything. If he's gonna conquer a universe, he can't show any empathy for anyone unless he's married to that person or dating that person or her, whatever. So Naruto says agreed. So what Danzo does is he makes Naruto start off with chakra training, just a little bit of chakra control. With a little bit of chakra control. What the heck? Yeah, with a little bit of chakra control. And Naruto's kind of being great at it. And he picks it up very fast because Divinity is more harder to control than chakra. And Naruto perfected his Divinity, his Hell's Divinity, and his Heaven's Divinity. He just had to perfect his Chaos Divinity. So chakra was really easy. He can do chakra. He has great chakra manipulation. He came up with something on his own. So you know how a person can run out of chakra if they keep using it over. Naruto thought that it would be easier if you transmute the air into chakra and let it flow throughout your body while you're moving. So you'll constantly have a supply of chakra, basically endless chakra. And Danzo likes this idea and he thinks this is genius, but he told Naruto not to tell anyone this. Just him and Danzo will work on this together. So him and Danzo is trying to perfect this, and they got it down partially. They can stand still and do it, but they can't move around and do it. So Naruto came up with an idea. He slipped a little bit of Divinity into Danzo. it wasn't Heaven's Divinity. It was Hell Divinity. He slipped a little bit of it inside of Danzo. And Danzo kind of feel like he can do it now. So Naruto and Danzo goes out to a training field and they start moving. They start running while transmuting the air into chakra and absorbing it. And it's actually working. They have it down and it's a great jutsu. Danzo says he won't tell anyone about this unless Naruto wants to. Because Danzo is starting to think of Naruto as a son because he knows how Minato and Kushina treats Naruto. So then Naruto says, what else do we have to work on? Danzo says, you have to be emotionless if you want to go on assassination missions and kill people. If you want to do that, you can't show any emotion. So he straps Naruto down to a chair and he opens his eyes wide. And I'm gonna say they had what was that? VR, not VR tapes. The thing that they had in the old time movies, projector, and they shows people getting killed and all of this. And this really not facing Naruto, but it's starting to drain his emotion. Darkseid said he needs to drain his emotion even quicker. So what Darkseid does is he placed a spell on Naruto, because I'm saying Darkseid knows magic as well. I think he does. I don't really know. I think he does. He places a spell onto Naruto, and this spell is to have no emotions. Now this spell will kick in after a week or so. Danzo says you should have no emotions after a week, because Darkseid could read minds. So a week passed. Naruto done all his regular training, and now Naruto is an empty husk. He has no emotion for anyone or anything except for his parents and Danzo. So that week has passed. Then we're gonna do another turn skip. A month has passed. Oh, sorry guys, I have to get rid of this. A month has passed, and Naruto pulls Danzo to the side. He tells Danzo that he has something to tell him. Now, Naruto takes Danzo to the Forest of Death to a open field. Danzo is wondering what goes on. Naruto says, Danzo, I have something to tell you. I'm not the real child of Minato or Kushina. Now, this is the first time that Naruto is going to meet his father. Well, not the first time he's going to meet his father in person. This is going to be the 7th time, because I'm a flashback. Darkseid has been coming to that Earth multiple times to see Naruto and Hela, so yeah, short flashback ends. A big black portal opens behind Naruto, and the reason Danzo can see this is because he has Divinity. Remember, Naruto slipped some in him, and that Divinity has grown over the years, so it's not on par with Naruto's Divinity, but it's very, very powerful. And Darkseid and Hela walks out, and Steppenwolf as well. And Steppenwolf thinks of Naruto as a little brother. He grabs Naruto and says, hey, little brother Naruto. And Naruto says, get your hands off of me, Steppenwolf. And he kicks him away, sending him flying. And then he starts talking. Danzo is wondering if Steppenwolf is okay. Naruto says he's fine. Naruto says, this is my real father and mother. My father's name is Darkseid, but his real name is Euxis. And my mother's name is Hela. Or no, Darkseid's last name is Euxis. He says my father's name is Darkseid, last name Euxis. My mother's name is Hela, last name Euxis. And Darkseid is kind of amazed because and he says they're both gods. which makes me a god. I am a natural god. I am 100% God. I have no part of a human. And then he says, I want you to meet a childhood friend as well. And Zone Child appears like a construct of him on the side of Naruto. And Naruto says, this is Zone Child. He's my basically younger brother. Well, he's basically my older brother as well. And Danzo is kind of amazed because two entities are on Earth. And he's thinking, how powerful are they? And Naruto can read minds as well. And he says, and Danzo says that they are powerful as Otsutsuki and the Sage of Six Paths. And Darkseid laughs and he says that puny Sage of Six Paths has nothing on me. I am a real god. He's a half god, and those Otsutsuki, I can wipe them out without even trying. And he says this with a smug look, and he's being serious. And Danzo is surprised because there's two entities that are above the Sage of Six Paths and the Otsutsuki. And Danzo says, so why are you telling me this? And Naruto says, well, and Naruto shows his army to Danzo. His large 2 million army. Plus, Darkseid gives him some of his troops, about 2 million. I'm trying to make everything even. 2 million parademons, 2 million undead soldiers, and Bane and Cyrax. And he says this is, and Cerberus. He's gonna give Cerberus to Danzo. He says this is my army, but they need a general. And Danzo he's kind of getting confused, but then he realized when Naruto's saying he wants Danzo to be his general. And Danzo thinks about it and he happily accepts. And Naruto says, I have a gift for you. Wait, hold on guys, I'll be back. And he says, I have a present for you. And he opens a portal and Cerberus walks out. I'll show you guys a picture of Cerberus. Hold on guys. Sorry guys, so Cerberus walks out of his out of hell basically. Naruto's the new ruler of hell. Oh my gosh, I'm coming. Sorry guys, I had to leave. He opened a boom tube. Cerberus came out and he says, Danzo, this is my gift to you. I have two others as well. My first gift is Cerberus. He's the guardian of the gate of hell, which I own, apparently. And I own Purgatory. Lucifer gave it to me. Not gonna explain that to you. But yeah. My second gift is, I already gave you Hell's Divinity. I'll give you a small portion of my army as your own. So they'll still be loyal to me, but they'll also listen to you. So he gave him about, 300 as his own personal. 100 parademons, 100, 400, he gave him 400. 200 parademons, 200 undead soldiers, and plus Cerberus. And he also gave Danzo the ability to open boom tubes. Yeah. Then his last and final gift was he gave Danzo the all-seeing eye, which is something Naruto came up with because he can manipulate reality, but to a small degree. So he manipulated to the point where he just came up with off the top of his head a dojutsu better than the Sharingan. You can see everything. It's basically a mix of all dojutsu. So the Sharingan, the Rinnegan, the Byakugan, the Tenseigan. It's all mix of those. And Dunzo feels more powerful. And then he gave 4 gifts actually. He gave him the Omega effect, but he gave him a small portion. He didn't give him a big portion. The Omega effect, just a small portion of it is powerful, so he gave him a small portion of it. And Naruto has the Omega effect and the Astral Force and the Source. So he's just basically overpowered. He just needs to learn how to use his abilities to their full extent. And so that's when Dunzo was like, thank you. What should I call you now? Naruto didn't think of that. He says, and then Darkseid says, call him my lord. And then Steppenwolf finally comes back and he kicks Naruto for kicking him. And him and Naruto starts fighting. Because this is a younger Steppenwolf, like a very younger. And they start fighting and Darkseid tells them both to knock it off. And Naruto stops. And so does Steppenwolf. And Danzo bowing, and Steppenwolf is looking at him stupid. He asks him what happened, and he says this is Naruto's new general. And Steppenwolf says his apologies and greets him properly and shakes his hand and blah blah blah. They all get to catch up. Darkseid, Hela, and Steppenwolf heads back, and Danzo is happy. Dunzo is asking what is Naruto's goal. He says he has to conquer universes just like his father. Dunzo's all for it. He really doesn't care. He says, yes, my lord. And he says, but don't call me that in public. And he says, right. And so now Dunzo works for Naruto. And so now that day is over, and Naruto goes to sleep. The next day, Naruto gets up, get ready, goes to school. 2 Anbu are in Naruto's shadow. They're rude. Naruto appears and asks what are they doing, and he says the Lord Dunzo told him to be his personal bodyguards. And Naruto was like, oh, well, Dunzo's just doing his job, which Dunzo is trying to do as best as he can, but he doesn't really know everything, so he contacts Steppenwolf in the meantime, and him and Steppenwolf is talking. We'll get to their conversation later. And so Naruto is walking, and he told the root Anbu to stay hidden, and they says yes, and then they stay hidden, and they're just staying in the shadows watching. And Naruto goes to class. He sits down at the desk. So the day that they were supposed to get their teams and their joining leaders, it was canceled. So yeah, because something happened, and they had to make changes due to Minato. He wanted to change it up. So yeah. Naruto walks in, he sits down. Sasuke, Sakura, Menma, Mito, Hinata, they're all there, and they look at him. Naruto looks back, and his eyes turns red in front of Menma. Mito, they get scared, and they turn back around. And so, Kakashi, I was about to say Kakashi. Yeah, Kakashi says, no, not Kakashi, what's his name? Aruka Sensei says, today is when you all get your teams and your joining leaders. So he calls everyone out, and he says who's going to be paired up with who. Everyone in canon except for Hinata. She's not going to be on the same team as Shikamaru and Choji. She's going to be on a different team. Shikamaru and... not Shikamaru. She was on the team with Dog Boy and Bug Guy. I forgot their names. And so that's when Naruto is sitting there, and Naruto's just minding his own business. And so that's when Iruka says Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto, Uzumaki will be Team 7, and Team 8 is going to be Minma, Mito, and Hinata. These two teams will be combined due to Lord Hokage's orders, so you will have 2 Jonin senseis. And your Jonin senseis will be Kakashi Hatake and also Minato Uzumaki. Naruto looks up. He opened one of his eyes when he hears Kakashi Hatake. He really doesn't care about he really doesn't care about what's her name? Kushina. He really doesn't care about her that much. And he says, I guess this is gonna be good. I really wanna fight him. And again, Naruto lost his emotions. And so Naruto is sitting there, and we're gonna skip over to Danzo and Steppenwolf's conversation. Steppenwolf and Danzo are talking, and Danzo's acting like, what is he supposed to do as his general? He says, well, you lead his army, you help him conquer universes, always keep him protected at all times, and you have to be everywhere he is. So if he's in a meeting or something with if he's somewhere like in a meeting or negotiations, which my lord doesn't do, but knowing Naruto, he probably would do that. And he says, yeah, Naruto lost his emotions. He said, oh well, never mind. But something important, you're always with them to help them out, which they probably don't need it, but you're there to command their troops and keep them protected. And whoever their mistress is, you keep her protected as well. Probably won't need it, but still, it's our jobs. And Danzo says, okay, and he was like, wait, so I'm supposed to be with Naruto right now? And Steppenwolf says, yeah, he's not with you. And Danzo body flickers away, and Steppenwolf is saying, hello? Hello? Yeah, because Danzo just left. He appears at the school, and he walks in, and everyone's, Iruka Sensei says, hello, Lord Danzo, and he says, what are you doing here? And he says, well, Naruto Uzumaki is a part of my root Anbu. I just want to see how he's doing today. And he was like, oh, Naruto, you're part of the root Anbu? And Naruto says, yes. He opens his eyes and looks at Danzo. And he put a psychic link between them. He asks him, what is he doing? He says he's here to keep an eye on him as his general. And Naruto says, oh, fine. And so Naruto walks, Kushina gets there first, and she greets everyone except for Naruto. Danzo is, she didn't see Danzo at first, but when she looked around, she says, oh, hi, Lord Danzo. Oh, Naruto, I didn't see you there. And she says, hello, Naruto, with a disgusted look on her face. And then that's when Kakashi finally appears an hour late and says sorry, he got lost on the way of life or whatever. And Naruto's like, Naruto stands up because he already knows what Kakashi's about to say. Kakashi says, where are you going? He says, I'm heading to the roof. That's what you want, right? And Danzo walks out behind Naruto. Well, actually, no, Naruto opens a boom tube, Danzo and Naruto walks through it. But again, they can't see it. They don't have Definity, so they just think that they body flickered away. And he's like, that kitten was body flicker. He says, but he said everyone to the roof, and they all appear on the roof. I'm gonna say they all learn body flicker, but theirs is not as great as Naruto if he uses it. His body flicker is basically like the flying Raijin, basically. It's like a master. Like Shisui, Was that it? Shisui? Yeah. He basically a master of the body flicker technique. And so he gets up there and he's like, how did you get here so fast? Naruto was like, I was first, remember? He was like, oh. And Danzo was sitting there. And the two Root Umbu that were watching appears besides Danzo. And they're wondering why Danzo's there. And Naruto answers, he just says, I'm a part of the Root Umbu. But Danzo is here to see how I do, and if I deserve to be in the Root Umbu. And he was like, oh. And Sasuke is kind of jealous that Naruto's in the Root Umbu. And so, guys, that's when they start talking, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when Kashi says, well, now we're going to do something. We're going to, you're going to tell me your likes and your dislikes and what are your dreams. And he says, I'll start first. My name, and he said, tell me your names as well. He said, my name is Kakashi Hatake. My dreams, I do not have to tell you all that. My likes, I don't have to tell you all that. And my dislikes, I dislike people who are not honest. Basically, well, he says what he says in canon. Yeah, everybody says what they says in canon. Sakura, well, except for Sasuke, because the Uchiha Massacre didn't happen. But the Akatsuki still is a thing, but they just don't have Itachi. And so, that's when they are talking, blah, blah, blah. They say that their likes and dislikes, their names, what their dreams are. And so it's Menma's turn. He says he wants to become Hokage. He wants to live up to his father's expectation. His likes are ramen and training with his family. Dislikes is Naruto. Mito says she want to become the first female Hokage. Her likes are ramen, training with her family, and hanging out with Sakura and Hinata. And her dislikes, hold on guys. Oh, never mind. And her dislikes are Naruto. Oh, I forgot to say what Sasuke said. He says he wants to help Menma get to the top and be his shadow Hokage.